y'all, it's me Alex. Today I wanted to do a Get Ready With Me featuring my Kat Von D Satan Center palette. Now I had done a look that was using some of the orange and brown shades from this palette on my Instagram. Well, I posted a look on my Instagram. I didn't do a tutorial on it, but I figured that would be something that would be really cute to do today, and I wanted to do it kind of a get ready with me style just because I am very, very tired of doing voiceovers. So I don't know how much narration I'll do besides the fact that like I am going to be applying stuff to my face and I'm going to talk about that. I would just rather do that than a voiceover right now. Also, I'll probably have to stop like halfway through because my laundry is a thing that is happening, but I will go ahead and get started. So I like hardly ever do my brows on camera anymore, but I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow in dark brown, so that's what I'm going to use today. I like doing my brows first because those are really, you know, it really just frames the face when you do that. I should also sit like this so that like you can see more color. Yeah, like that. I really need to get my brows done. I don't know if y'all can tell, but like everything is growing back, but I haven't gotten my brows like professionally done since my graduation back in May, and I feel like that's an issue. I just don't know of any good like brow threading places near my new place. So like all of the good places that I knew were down in Virginia, so I'm not quite sure what to do with that, or like if I trust any places up here, you know? Okay, so quick comment section poll. Which brow is your good brow and which brow is your struggle brow? Because I do not think that any of us have been blessed with like the perfect enough genetics to get both right, unless you do like microblading or some sort of thing like that where your brows are just like fabulous all the time, but I'm not sure. I think my nice brow and struggle brow depends on the day. Like today it is definitely this one that is struggling. It's definitely my left brow. I don't think either of them look bad, but kind of trying to get it to match my right brow is difficult. However, I have had more luck when I do like my left brow first, so maybe that's just a thing that I have to remember to do, but remembering stuff is hard, guys. So now I'm gonna go in with this NYX HD Eyeshadow Base. This is just what I always use and will probably always use because it's a nice cheap dupe for the Urban Decay Primer Potion. Like I totally don't mention that every single time that I use this product, but you'll know. Like if something is as good as like a $20 Urban Decay product but is like $7 or $8, I want to tell y'all about that, and I will tell y'all about it every chance I get. I'm not sure if I want to go with Martyr or Devil. Well, first of all, I am going to use the palette before I do my foundation simply because there's so much fallout, and especially in one of the shades that's like straight glitter. So I'm gonna first start off with Martyr in the crease right there. This is such like a nice warm tone transition shade. I wish this palette had come with like a more cool tone one, but I find that if I mix this one with a tiny bit of Crucifix, which is like the nice deep dark chocolatey brown, then I think this definitely like cools it down a bit. It makes it darker, but it cools it down. I'm gonna use Devil, and I'm gonna use that also in the crease and really like warm it up all nice and orangey. And I'm kind of blending that into the inner corner as much as I can too. So for my lid, I'm gonna use Revelation, which I'm really excited about. Is this nice shimmery orangey brown shade, and when I first played with it, it was like, what the heck am I actually supposed to do with this? But I find that if you do a look where you like blend it out with some oranges, it looks really, really cool. And you kind of just want to pack it on and we'll blend it out later. I realize that's my logic for like how I do my makeup in general, and that is completely antithetical to the logic of every makeup artist ever, but it's how I do things. I go all out, and then if stuff needs to be fixed, then I fix it. So I'm gonna blend that into the crease a bit. And on my brow bone, I'm gonna go in with Amen, which is basically the brow bone shade that I use every single time that I use this palette. So I think before I go any further on my eyes, I'm going to go in and do my face because I need to go and do all of the lower lash line stuff, but that doesn't work too well with the way I do foundation. So I'm going to use this NYX Angel Veil Primer and just apply that to my face. And I'm gonna use this e.l.f. Creamy Concealer in Corrective Yellow to just like color correct my under eyes. I mention this whenever I do like my base in videos. Again, I don't do my base in my videos very often, kind of like I don't do my brows, just because I kind of do the same thing every time, but this is a get ready with me, so you're gonna get like completely ready with me. And this is such an underrated product. It is one whole American dollar, and to me it does like just enough to brighten my under eyes that like when I put foundation on top of it, it doesn't make it look heavy, but it also kind of neutralizes everything. So for my foundation, I actually picked this up today. It's a Wet n Wild Photofocus foundation, and it is in the shade Nude Ivory, which is like the light neutral shade. I needed a new foundation for the winter because my skin gets a little bit drier and a little bit paler, so I'm just gonna apply this and talk with y'all about it. I've never tried this before, so this is gonna be a first impression sort of a thing. I'll just start there and blend it in with my Real Technique sponge and see what happens. I definitely think that this is a really good shade. I was gonna wait until VIBs had access to the VIB sale to get a new foundation, but I also did not really want to pay for like a fancy Sephora priced foundation. And this is giving like some medium coverage for me right now, which I mean, I'm used to my Kat Von D Lock-It foundation. That is my holy grail, but I think this appears to be pretty buildable. So I'm gonna build it up around my cheeks and all that. And I also might just not be used to seeing myself in such pale foundation, since Kat Von D Light 48 is what I've been wearing for like the entire rest of the year almost, except for the winter, obviously. You know, this doesn't give like a bad finish. Again, not quite as full coverage as a Kat Von D, but it actually, at least to me, seems a bit more matte. I can do like a check-in if there's anything like serious that happens throughout the day. I'm hoping that like nothing serious happens with my foundation that would require me doing like any sort of a check-in type situation. If we have like a major breakthrough or breakout, I will let y'all know, because that is my job, is to make sure that y'all know what's good. So quickly, before I have to get my laundry, I'm gonna use this NYX HD Concealer in 02 Fair and just apply that under my eyes. I'm just gonna blend that in with a Real Technique sponge. And to help that blend out more and to really reduce the creasing and just set everything, I'm gonna use this Kat Von D Brightening Powder in Petal on the tip of a dry Real Technique sponge underneath my eyes. I just feel as though it works better in this sort of a baking situation when the sponge is dry. And this can just bake on my face while I go get my laundry. Okay, so I'm back from getting my laundry. It's not entirely dry, but I also have about 15 minutes before I have to go to a rehearsal. So I'm just gonna keep going with this and I'll let that air dry. I'm going to start on the lower lash line, and I'm gonna take some of Devil and Martyr, just a combination of the two, and apply that down there. And I don't really have any thoughts on this foundation yet, except like I do wish it would kind of give more coverage than it does. I think for the $6 that I paid for it, I don't hate it, and I can definitely wear it all winter. And I'm wondering if I might need to go back to a brush to get more coverage, because that's the reason I've been using the Real Technique sponge as much as I have. The Kat Von D one almost gave too much coverage, like not too much coverage, but it was getting a little streaky. So we're just gonna see how that works. And I'm gonna go in with Revelation and kind of smudge that super close to the lash line. That little trio right there is just a perfect combination of browns, I think. Like a perfect brown-orange combination. I'm gonna use Amen in the inner corner. Like, it's not really sparkly. I also wish that there was like a sparkly inner corner highlight. Like, I know that they have the Absolution topper, but that isn't quite what I'm looking for. You know, like, that's just glitter. Glitter is great. But you know what I mean. You get me. Y'all get me. That's why you watch this channel. So I'm gonna curl my lashes. Ardell lash curler. Can't use anything else because every other eyelash curl I've tried that isn't this hurts my eyes and feels like it is ripping my eyelashes out. But this does not, so it is wonderful. And I will finish off my eyes with some Urban Decay Perversion mascara, as usual. I should probably wear more false lashes than I do, but it's just so much effort. Oh, and by the way, the rehearsal that I'm going to tomorrow, like, my school is doing a reenactment of the Bolshevik Revolution, and like a campus-wide email was sent out, and I'm not like the super duper history nerd, but that just really sounded fun to me, and they said that it would be black and white, so my hair color does not matter. For my contour, I'm going to use the middle shade from my Kat Von D Shade and Light contour palette. And I'm gonna use it on this Wet n Wild contour brush, which I really love. I think this is nice for more of an everyday powder contour because it has just enough give to really blend it in, but it's just thick enough to apply it, if that makes any sense. Like, it's just the perfect combination. I like the Real Technique sculpting brush, but sometimes I feel as though that can be a little thick and can't blend it out as nicely as I'd want to, but I think it works really well for cream products. On an everyday basis, I'm a contour gal, but I'm not a cream contour gal because that's just so... Oh my gosh, you guys! This is a tiny, tiny victory, but do you see that? There is a tiny bit of pan. You can't see it at all, but there is a tiny, tiny bit of metal showing through there. I finally hit pan on another shade of my Kat Von D contour palette. Heck yes. It's the little things in life that really please me, guys. Doesn't take a lot to make me happy. And for my bronzer, I'm gonna use this Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer combined on this really cute Black Heart Beauty Kabuki brush. Y'all saw that review. You know that I think that this is like the cutest brush ever because it looks like a skull, and I love skulls. Not a murderer. I just like the goth aesthetic. I don't know if I'm full on goth or anything, but I do like that aesthetic quite a bit. So I'm gonna use this Model's Own Sculpt and Glow highlighting powder in Golden Sand. This is what I was raving about in my favorites video, and I'm still completely in love with it. I think it just gives such a nice glow to the face, and you can just like build it the heck up. I like a lot of highlight. That is just who I am as a person. Once I realized that there was a difference between highlighted skin and oily skin, I was just setting all of my makeup and then putting like a crap ton of highlight on it and just like living my best life. For my blush, I'm going to use a Milani Baked Blush in Rose d'Oro, and I think this is such a nice blush for me. I don't even necessarily need this with like a bronzer because I think this can even work well as like kind of a blush and bronzer combination on its own, but I still think it's really, really good, and I think it's amazing for warm tone looks. And finally for my lipstick, I'm gonna use this NYX matte lipstick in Maison. It looks like a French word. I'm pretty certain that means like house in French. I should like actually invest in... I can't talk while doing this. Screw that. What I was going to say while I was attempting to talk and put on lipstick at the same time is that I should really get like some sort of, what's it called? Lip liner. Wow, that took me a long time to think of that word. That goes with this because sometimes, you know, lipsticks are a little difficult to apply when they're not in lipstick form, and sometimes they run and smudge and all that. But anyway, this is a really good color that goes with this look, and that is this finished look. I really hope you enjoyed this. Get ready with me. I enjoyed filming it. I'm really loving these warm tones right now, which is a thing that I never thought I would say in my life. I never thought I would love warm tones as much as I do in this point in my life, and it's fantastic. So thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe down below if you want to see more videos from me, and I will see you on my next one. Hope y'all have a wonderful day. Bye!